I've managed to finish all the spraying for this year, this autumn, which is just as well because it is starting to turn quite wet now. So I've got a bit of maintenance on the sprayer, and what I'm doing, I've got an oil leak at the seal at the front of this pump I'm using quite a lot of oil. I'm having to top up the little reservoir in here quite every time I use it. So I've got to drop that down. It's relatively straightforward. You just got the two connectors on the top and then two bolts either side. If you've got a trolley jack underneath it, as that drops down. What complicates it is because this is a AirTech sprayer, it's got this air pump on it with a belt that drives off the back of this on a big pulley. So you've got to sort the, actually I can't remember what you've got to sort out, but we've got to take something off there. So I'll take these guards off and have a look. Now the other thing I'm doing is also this air pump. This is the air pump it came with. At the time when I bought it, I was talking to the guy who was selling it to me and asked if he knew if that air pump was all right, because these are horrifically expensive. He said he had no idea, and I was umming and ahhing, and he then said, actually I've got another one. I took off a sprayer, I think it was a self-propelled sprayer that he took the AirTech off of when the customer didn't want it, and he said you can have that if you like, because I'll never sell it. So I've got that on the shed in the workshop, and that I've looked inside that is like a brand new one with hardly any wear. This is starting, if you run your fingers around you can feel it rippling on the inside of this barrel. Talking to Knights who made this sprayer, they were telling me if this pump goes, so one of the, because it's a, what do you call that now? Not a centrifugal pump, it's the pump, a vane pump, so rotary vanes. So it's got that, and these things slide out and pump the air. If they break, if they get so short they can snap, and if they do break, apparently it sends bits everywhere through the air system and is a total nightmare. So I figured this has got to come off, the water pump's got to come off. I've got a spare air pump, a nice one, so I'll swap that while I'm at it. So it's all off, as usual, when you do these things. It turns out that you have to take a few more bits off than I thought. So, although not a lot, to be honest with you. So all the guards are off, belts all have to come off, and this pulley that comes down with the pump and sits on the PTO on the back side of the pump, clamps on, and then it's steadied up with that bearing the other side. That is really heavy, that pulley. That's a really heavy pulley. So that is off, and then I've just power washed off the, see it's a bit grim at the minute with the wet, everything is just damp. I hate damp weather. I don't mind it cold, just don't like damp. And so here in the workshop I've got the pump, I just power washed it clean, and I shall strip it down now, which is a relatively straightforward thing to do. They're not complicated at all, and they're pretty reliable. Most sprayers I've had, in fact all sprayers I've had in the last, gosh, 40 years nearly, have had one of these AR pumps on them, and they're pretty good pumps. Yeah. Right, so it's coming to bits quite easily like they always do. So these are your, so that's the suction side ring, and the valves, the non-return valves are in here. So, and then so it goes in, so it gets drawn in there, and then it gets pushed out that side, where your non-return valves are in the pressure side. So it goes pushed through there and can't come back. And then although it's an oil leak I'm fixing, while it's off, I'll take the opportunity to change the diaphragms. And as you can see, they're clear on there, but these look like they're a new one. They're coloured blue. So I can see they've got AR on them, so they're called Blue Flex. So they're obviously a genuine thing. That just goes on there. You've got a piston underneath that draws that in and out as a pump. So we'll replace all 6 of these, and then the oil seals. Now, I've got 2 oil seals because I don't know what I've done with them. So I thought I might find them when I tidied the workshop, but I didn't. So I might end up having to get 2 more. Yeah, that wasn't too clever, that. I remember putting them somewhere, thinking I'll put them there, they'll be safe there, but I can't remember where I've put them. So we'll have to do a bit of hunting. Failing that, get another 2. But anyway, I should continue. I'll probably take the heads off, cylinder heads, if you like, and then put that up on the bench and do the rest of it up there. Because once you start taking the that bit off and it all sort of falls apart quite easily. So rather than it being on the floor, I'll finish it off on the bench. It's light enough now. I've taken a lot of the bits off. So the pump's completely in pieces, and this is I'm not taking it any more to pieces than this, but as you can see, it's like got a little eccentric piece on here, so that works the pistons, and they just in out, and then with these seals on the top, that sucks and pressurizes the water. This space here is completely full of oil, so you have the oil level up here, so this is totally full. I've just pushed a new seal on there, rubbed this down with emery. It's got a little bit of wear in it, so we'll see how it goes. If it does leak again really quickly, I guess I'll have to do something else, but I don't know how much a new shaft is. I was going to change this, but this side isn't leaking at all. I'm pretty sure I put a new one in there when I redid the sprayer, and quite frankly, these are a bit of a pain. This side isn't, but they're just held on with this little collar thing here. And you've got to get the other side one on, which is doable obviously, but I don't think I need to change it. So I'll put that face back on, new seals on here, and put it back together. So these are the little diaphragms. You have to be careful putting them in. This is only light alloy, so you can't do them up too tight. You feel them when they bottom out on the shoulder here. So put them in like that, and then you draw that in a little bit and just pop the seal in thus. There we are. And then put the cap, the well, I suppose cylinder head, I suppose you'd call it maybe. These have got a way round on them, and that is just here. It says oil, so that's the side that faces the oil. This is the chemical side. So we've got 6 of them to do. It's quite straightforward, really. It's a really simple pump, and they are super reliable. I think the the last 4 sprayers have had these pumps on. So I've had a 3-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, a 4-cylinder, and now back to a 6-cylinder. And I haven't really had, other than changing these and the odd seal, I haven't had anything go wrong with them. Never had one of these little valves go wrong. Yeah, really good. Oh, actually, when I got this one, I took this off and I had to put a new cylinder in because the thread had been chewed out. So I have had, not a cylinder, a piston. Other than that, brilliant. There we are. It's all back together. All the manifolds are on correctly. All sounds nice. Hear it sucking away. Good. Just got to put the oil in it, but that'll be for another day. I've to have my lunch now and then go ploughing. But yeah, very straightforward pump. I like that pump. Okay. Oh, and the air pump I was on about, that's on the shelf over here. Been sitting here a few years, so it'll need a bit of looking at, but basically that is more or less brand new, and they're thousands of pounds new. So I'm definitely glad I got that.